Hello and good morning, afternoon. I don't know. I always struggle at this time of day. I think of 11:30 as afternoon. But maybe afternoon is when it's literally afternoon. Anyway, let's get this side work done. Hello, Rosie. Hello, Lisa. I know, long time no see. It does feel like a long time between drawings. That potentially is going to change, so stay tuned. There will be some sort of announcement after the holiday weekend, after Labor Day weekend. Okay, let me get this. Okay, there we go. All pinned and all that. So it's Wednesday. Welcome. We are doing a Black Panther drawing today. I thought it was just a good way, a good memory and for Chadwick Boseman, who passed away suddenly, to us anyway, after I'm sure quite a struggle. But so yes, Black Panther. I have drawings like this. It's kind of like the we did another one, Deadpool. When we did Deadpool, you know, it's a little bit tricky because, you know, Deadpool was like all red. So you're trying to find ways to make the pattern show and things like that when you're dealing with something that has just so kind of one note, one color. But the fun thing with when you're doing the color black is there really are so many other colors that you kind of see within black. Black will pick up a lot of silvers, it'll pick up some whites, it'll pick up some purples. So, well, when you look at his outfit when he's Black Panther, you know, it's all black. You kind of have to imagine where you might see some reflections and things like that. So I've done the pattern. There's kind of a pattern within his suit. So I've done some of that pattern. And then I'm just going to color with, you know, blacks, purples, and grays. And I'm actually going to mess around with my watercolor markers today. So instead of my standard colored pencils, we're going to do watercolor markers. But if you're using pencils or you're using your pens or crayons, whatever you use, you can kind of do the same. And I, again, have made this a coloring page, so I will upload this, you know, when I remember. I'm terrible at that. So let me flip this around. I did not get new highlights. This is actually what my hair looks like when I don't blow it dry. Or yeah, when I don't blow it dry. When I just let it dry on its own, it looks like completely different color. It's very straight, so you see the difference in the color. Whereas when I curl it kind of wavy, you almost don't see it as much. But thank you. I'm trying to dry my hair less. So here we go. We have our Wakanda Forever. I really kind of like this drawing. I like how it came out. The trickiest part is definitely all of the little line work. And then, yeah, when I color this, I'm going to color most of the big areas black, but inside that line work, I'm going to do a little bit of it gray and a little bit of it purple. And, you know, you can adjust this however you like. If you would like to add more background in, or you don't want to do the lettering, or you want to write something else, you are welcome to do that. I will tell you, when I'm doing lettering like this, you know, sometimes I'll write little silly phrases off to the side. But when I'm really putting some significant lettering on my page, it is the one time I use a ruler. So, you know, just to give you that clean line because I want all of those letters to line up. So I am using a ruler today. So let me set this aside. Again, I'm going to do this on watercolor paper and color it in with watercolor markers today. So do something a little different. So to get started, I'm going to draw basically a letter U. I didn't make that quite as big as I would like to, so I'm going to make it a little bit wider. There we go. So start with a letter U on your page. And then on the top, you're going to round out an in for an ear. I want that just a little bit pointier. And this is one of those things where you kind of just have to put the ears on and then make whatever adjustments you want to make. Kind of make sure that they're kind of lining up in size. It looks like they are. I want this line a little bit shorter. A lot of times when I'm lining up on the bottom, I'll just run my eraser across in a straight line to make it even. And then I'm going to do a curved line connecting the two ears for the top of the head. Now we have that cat-shaped face. I think we've done this shape before. Even Batman, I think, had a similar look to him. Now from the sides, not all the way out to the side of his head, but kind of the side of where his neck would be, I'm going to draw a line coming down. I want that a little bit wider. And then same over here. And I'm going to go ahead and make a faint line going across, because I know I'm going to erase most of that line. So I can make it really faint. So this is going to be the body. And then from here is where I'll build the legs. So on this faint line, you can kind of find your middle. This is my middle. And I'm going to go a little bit to the right of that and put a line that goes down for the leg. And then over to the side, I'm just going to continue this line for that side of the leg. Same over here. Little to the left. Make them about the same length. And again, like I said, when you're evening out lines like this, you can just run your eraser back and forth in a straight line. It'll kind of even them out. And then I'm just going to do kind of that hot dog tip hump around for the foot. Just like that. And now this line here, I am going to go ahead and erase. That's why I made it so faint. I can get rid of that little center line, but I do want a little bit of line between the legs. So now I'll make it a little darker just there between the legs. So now we have our head, our body, our legs. And the head is a little bit, you know, disproportionate, but you see that a lot in kind of cartoon animation where, you know, the head isn't quite, the head looks a little bit oversized for the size of body. That's pretty normal. It's done a lot when you're doing kind of more of an animation style. Now, one of his arms I'm going to have coming up and one of his arms will be coming down. So right here from this point where the head meets the neck, I'm just going to do a line that curves out. I'll decide how wide I want that arm and then do another line that comes down, more of a straight line. And then for that hand, I'm going to start with a curve. That's the pinky. I'll do another curve. There's the next finger, and then this is the pointer finger, so it's going to come around. And I might adjust that a little bit, make it a little more narrow. Maybe I made it a little too fat. And then the thumb will be over here, little hot dog tip, and it's going to kind of curve into that pointer finger. And you can erase this line. I might make this pinky line a little bit less thick. There we go. Hands are always the hardest, I think. You can really get like hung up on hands a lot. Sometimes you just have to kind of let it go, let it be what it is. And again, this is all going to get colored in black. So some of this I'm not even going to see the division between the hands. I also will put nails on, but I'm just going to do the nails, the claws, basically, when I'm working in the pen, because to put them on in just pencil, it's like such a small little line. Now for this hand, I'm going to have it coming up. So I'm going to curve a little bit shorter of a line and then have it come up. So I made like kind of a V shape there. Again, have the arm be about as thick as the arm on the other side. You don't want one really thick arm and one really thin one. And then this is going to, where this V is, it's going to curve. That would be where the elbow is. And come up. And then this hand is kind of doing like a little bit of a claw, like. So I am going to take from this line and I'm going to make that pinky. So see how I kind of curved it and then brought it down into where this is like kind of the palm of the hand. I don't need that line quite as long. And then you're going to build the other fingers off. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then where this finger ends, you'll do a little line coming down. See how now we've developed a palm? And then the thumb. So now you have more of that hand that's like this. Kind of doing a paw shape. And again, we'll add some nails, and once we add all the other little details in, so now we'll erase that line. We're going to keep this headline though. Okay, now we're going to start getting into all of the line work in the body. Hi, Mom. So there are these kind of claws around the neck. So I'm going to start by doing a line for the necklace to live on. All right, we'll see you later. And then you're going to do these kind of upside down triangles for the parts hanging off the necklace. The middle one will be the biggest. This one will get a little bit smaller, and then a little smaller. And then you'll do the same over on the other side. This one will be a little smaller. I want it a little pointier too, and smaller. So there's that necklace. I'm also going to do another line here. Now, every line we make in this beyond the necklace ends up becoming a double line. And I'll show you what I mean by that. See how every line is 2 lines? So we're going to put all these lines in, and then we're going to make them all double lines. So from the necklace, we're going to put a V that comes into the chest. And like I just said, that becomes a double line. And you can do the double line in your pencil, or you can put your single line in and then go back with your pen and put the double line in. I'm going to do that a little bit on the face. So this line is going to, I think this one looks like a twig. It's going to come in. You're going to do your little like twig piece sticking up, little tiny rectangle off of this. And then it comes back out, comes down and back in. See, doesn't that look kind of like a little twig? And everything we do on this side, we mirror on this side. So, comes down, get your little rectangle to start with your twig, and then it goes back in. Now this line at the waist, it's going to come in, drop down, go across, go back up, and then off to the side. So it makes this kind of little step. And then what do? We make it a double line. We're going to do this again here at the leg, and this one's going to have an extra little zigzag in it. So from even part of this between the leg line, I'm going to come up, go over, come up, go over, and then make that a double line. So it kind of follows the shape of this a little bit. It just has that extra drop at the crotch area. So this comes up, goes over, comes up, goes over. You're trying to keep it pretty even with the other side. It's the tricky part about this, I told you, was all of this little line work. but you need it because otherwise, if you don't put that stuff in, you're just going to have this completely colored black and you won't have any detail and it'll look a little bit funny. So we're going to have another zigzag here on the leg and it's going to come up, down, up, and then double line, down, up. Same on the other side, up, down, up, and double line it. There's going to be more like his necklace. He has it hanging down on his leg too, so I'm going to put the line that those are going to live on. Put one on the other side too. And there's going to be 3. So let's do that upside down triangle there. These can all be about the same size. So 3 on that leg. 3 on this leg. And then right at the ankle, you'll just do a double line. And then for the toe, it's almost like, you know when you do those birds in the sky that look like the McDonald's arches? That's what you're going to do down here at the toe. So you're going to arch and then arch out and then double line it. Let's do it on this side. Arch, arch, double line. And there we go. We've got most of his body. Now we got to work on the parts in his arms. He's going to have the same kind of little arch as he just did in his feet right here. So I'm going to come in and then back up. Double line it. This arm is going to have a one of these on it. So you'll draw a line. And then you're going to put those upside down triangles on that line. Again, I'll do the claws when I'm working in pen. On this side, it's going to look a little bit different than it did over here. We're going to still do that little V, double line. Hi, Ruth. And then we're going to do 4 lines in total right here. 2, there's your first double line, go up gap, and then another. So on this side, we're not putting that hanging bracelet. We're just doing some line detail. And so now you have the detail work in the body, and we're left with that detail work in the face. Everybody doing okay so far with all of their double lines and their line work? Are people still working on hands? Remember with the hands, this space is all going to be colored in black. So don't worry about it too much because a lot of it's just going to get colored in. So the first thing I want to put on the face, because I'm going to build all of the lines on the face off of the nose and the eyes, okay? So I'm going to put a curved edge triangle on the face. Now these lines will all have double lines as well. So that triangle, it's going to need a double line. The eyes are just a little bit higher than the triangle. So I'm going to come from the tip of the triangle out just a bit, and I'm going to draw a line to the side of the face. I'm going to start with that. I'm going to do it on this side too. Come out just a bit and then draw a line to the side of the face. Now the eye is going to live right here, so you're going to just do a curved edge, like a curved half circle for the eye. And then we're going to have double line right here, double line right here, and there'll be a double line inside, but I'll show you, we'll come back to this, okay? Because we're going to do this in pen. It's not going to just be, I don't want this line here. There's a bunch of little lines that would be erased. So let's just leave it like that for now, and we will do the double line work for this portion later. So now let's build off the line that comes into the ear. So we're going to have a line that comes off the nose at an angle. It's going to curve up till you get where the ear, you're kind of into the ear at this point, and then you're going to go up to the tip of your ear. Do the same over here. So line, curve it till you get into the ear, and then you go up to the tip of the ear. And then this will become a double line. So you can just follow the pattern and make another line. We'll have another one that comes up and just curves up to the top of the head. Up, curves to the top of the head, and then we'll make these a double line. And then right here in the middle, you're going to have a V, which you will also make a double line. For in the cheeks, we're going to come kind of here. Imagine where his cheek is. It's right here. And we're going to curve up towards the nose. Have a line that drops kind of down and in. And then this is going to curve out to the side of the face. Do that on the other side. I'm kind of trying to line it up a bit. Curve it up towards the nose. Down and in. About the same length. And then curve it back to the bottom of the face. And then what does this get? Well, it gets a double line. Inside of this space, you're going to do up to a point and down. Double line that. Same over here. Into that point. Down. Double line it. down. And then this mouth area, you're going to come up, and I'm going to come up on just a little bit. See this curved line in the neck, which is kind of centered? I'm going to come up a little bit on the outside of it and a little bit on the outside of it. And it's almost like, I think of it like a rooftop. If you were drawing a house, you're coming up and then you're coming up to a point to like your center and then connect it on this side. So it looks like, doesn't that look like a little house roof? And then you're just making that a double line as well. And those are all your little lines and little details. Your hands are a mess. Again, don't worry about them too much. You do have a little bit of, there's a little bit good about this because it is colored in so much black. You really are going to lose some of that detail work in the hands anyway. Now for the lettering, I do want that lettering really straight, and you can decide, like you could put it all on the top. I think maybe today I'm going to do the Wakanda up above and the Forever down below. So I am going to give myself a straight line. Now, okay, when you're making straight lines with a ruler, let me back you up a little bit. When you're making lines with a ruler, you can put your line here and of course it's going to be straight, but if you're angling your ruler at all, you're going to get, of course, an angle. So what I do to try to make sure my ruler is like straight is I line up the edge of my ruler with the edge of my page. So that way it's pretty close to being, a straight across distance on the page also. I'm going to make this line super faint. You might not even be able to see it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but just a super faint guideline for my lettering. And then I'm going to put one down here as well. Since this is a straight surface here, I can just use that to make sure that I'm straight. I guess I would say I want it straight and I want it flat. So that's what I'm trying to do there, is make it flat. Now, if you're going to struggle with keeping the letters the same height as well, you can actually do 2 lines and then fit your lettering in between those 2 lines. I'm just going to kind of wing it. I want them all to line up on the bottom, and then hopefully just with my own eyeballs, I can kind of make them all line up on the top too. Oh, my pencil is stuck in my camera. Okay, there we go. That was a new problem I've never had before. So for the W, you can do your lettering however you like, but if you want to follow along, I am going to come down and then come up. But then this line, I'm going to have it start at the same height and come down and then go back out. Went out a little bit dramatically, a little too wide. So there's my W. My A is a triangle, and I'm not putting too much space between these letters. Putting them pretty close together. So there's the A. The K, I'll do my line down. Again, I don't have, I'm keeping those letters pretty tight together. I'm going to do the line going up a little lower than I normally would. Usually I kind of go from the center. This one I'm going down below that. And then I'll build off of this here. And then I'm going to put another line here. I am going to do another triangle for the A. I want my letters, you know, if I'm doing the same letter, I want to make sure it matches. So again, coming pretty close to the letter next to it, trying to make it about the same size as the other triangular A, using that bottom line as the base. Now the N is a little goofy. I'm going to put a line here. And then I'm going to start a line going this way. So 2, like I made an equal sign, right? But this one I'm going to come up, again, to about even with these letters. And then I'm going to come down and back up. So it's like an N with a little equal symbol at the bottom. My D, well, you know what? It looks exactly like a letter D. There's nothing fancy about the letter D in this. You could make it fancy. You could add a little line if you felt like you wanted to jazz it up a bit. The only reason you're seeing multiple lines here is because I didn't like the shape of it, so I was drawing it again. And then that last triangle A, about the same size as the others. Now that worked out to be about in the center of my paper. I did not measure that. You can if you like. You know, I just kind of throw letters down. I have a pretty good, I don't know, I can visualize like the middle pretty well. But sometimes I will put something like if maybe you put it really far to the left, then maybe your other word goes more to the right. So you kind of develop a pattern. I'll do that a lot. So now down here for the forever, I'm going to make an F line coming down. I'm going to do a little line for the top and then a bigger line for the bottom. Again, just a little bit of pattern. And the O is unique in that it's smaller. So it's our one letter that's kind of small, but you're going to put this black dot below it. And then the R really doesn't have anything too special other than the fact that I'm going to keep the top portion a little bit more on the small side. For the E, I am going to make that middle line bigger like I did with the F, so keep that short. I'm going to keep this up towards the top. I'm going to go bigger. And then my bottom line will be short. It'll be even with this top one. A standard V. You could even make the V a triangle. Let's do that. So it's literally just looks like the A upside down. I kind of like that. Kind of ties it in with up top. And then another E, same thing. Top two lines, or sorry, top line and bottom line are shorter. Middle line is longer. And then you have another R. You could also do things like just capping the letters with like little circles on each side or some sort of little symbol kind of ties that in also. And there we go. And now we're ready to outline with our pen. So when I get to the eyes, I will go over that a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and just start at the top. So I'll get my word in here first. Has everyone seen this movie? I will tell you, I am not a, I don't know, superhero, Marvel, what's the other one? I don't know. There's DC. I don't even know. There's two different. But I did watch this. It was beautiful. Oh my gosh. The people, the outfits, it was just gorgeous and very good story. I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, definitely see it. It's really good. And I do think sometimes, we all have these like, oh, well, I'm not a sci-fi person or I'm not a this person. And so you don't watch that particular style. But I think sometimes you have to make an exception. I know I'm not really a sci-fi person either, but I've found some great sci-fi stuff that I just absolutely love. Sometimes you'll surprise yourself and realize it has more to do with like the story or the writing than it does the actual genre that you're thinking you're not a fan of. Okay, so let's get this one. Okay, so for the eye, I'm going to come across still. And then I'm going to bring this around to this line and go out. So I'm not going to finish it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put another little half circle inside. So does that make sense? I didn't put this line right here. I went out, around, cut it a little short, and then made the double line, and then I just added the eye inside of it. Turn my page some. Sometimes it's just easier to do that. Your hand doesn't want to follow. I'm right-handed, so for me, drawing more to the left is more difficult than drawing to the right. I did watch the one and only Ivan. In fact, I'd like to do a drawing based on that. My son started watching it, and then he left the room and left it on, and I just kept watching it. I really, really liked it. In fact, I told my mom to watch it because I thought she would really like it too. It was very good, very sweet story. all of these little lines, all of this detail is really what takes the most time with this drawing. So what I'm going to do with my coloring is I am going to color some of these lines in silver or gray. I don't have a silver. And some of them in purple. And then I'll color that background black. So that way you can see the pattern shining through. I will leave the, I'm going to leave these, I'm going to do these all gray. These like claws. I need to explore Disney Plus a little bit more. I think there's so much stuff on there. Okay, there's hand number 1. I feel like this is one of those drawings that when you're doing it, you're just thinking, oh my goodness, is this ever going to end? And I know a lot of kids, if you're here drawing with me, a lot of you go back into class at 12:45. This is one of those drawings that might go a little long today, but you'll at least have the drawing done, and then you can always color it later. Or you can always just take the one I load and color it if you weren't into doing the drawing. It's so different for me drawing on watercolor paper. That's what I'm drawing on right here. It's so much more textured, and to me, my lines look like they have, I don't know, wave to them, because it just naturally happens with this style of paper, and the pencil marks are smudged all over the paper. Pencil really smudges on watercolor paper. The paper I'm used to is just so smooth. Move those over just a tick so they fit better. There we go. Getting my hand tired over here. So we'll have a doodle page on Friday. I don't know what yet, but I will post it tomorrow. And then we do have a sip and draw on Saturday. Finally. And this first sip and draw, we're not paired with anybody. I think we're going to do Miss Piggy. It feels like we haven't done a sip and draw in ages. Your breathing is intense with these lines, right? It's definitely tricky. I mean, you're just like, you're trying to, you do the lines and then you make that double line and you don't want them to touch because you need that room inside. But yeah, it takes focus. Made my hand tired, my arm tired. I'm also noticing though, I kind of had an arm issue there at the beginning of teaching you guys because my body was just not used to drawing as much as I was. And then now I notice that my arm gets tired, more tired than it was before because now I'm not drawing as much. So when I do it, it's like my arm got used to it. And now it's like, hey, it's like working out again. I haven't watched the new Muppet Show. Is it any good? Is it like all the same characters, just like a new, like, is it the Muppets and they just brought it back? Or is it different? I love the Muppets, but I haven't tried it yet. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to do some gray and I'm going to do some purple. So I'm just going to start putting color in. And this is a very dark gray, as I'm noticing. But it is a watercolor pencil, so or pen, so I could always make it lighter by adding a little bit of water onto it. And I'm just going to do this one. I'm also realizing it's kind of dry. But I'm going to power through, keep going. Oh, fun, Rosie. It's made for a generation all about the media. Oh. I'll have to check it out. Okay, well, this watercolor pen is driving me crazy. It's like dried out. I haven't even used this color yet in this pack, but it feels very dried out. I'm about to swap up and do my pencils. Right? That's what happens. You try something new. It's not new though. I've done these watercolor pens quite a bit. But it's definitely a darker gray than I thought, even though it feels like it's drying out. can always come through with this little, so these watercolor pens, it has a little water brush, and I can come through and go over, spread the color around a bit, lighten it up a bit. Although I'm going to be here all day at this rate. If I have to go over everything twice. Okay, so I'm going to swap up and grab another gray pencil, and I'm going to do some other. I'm still going to use those pens, but some of it I want a little bit lighter than what that gray is giving me. What else have you guys been watching? Anything good lately? We're always looking for new stuff. I'm watching the Umbrella Academy right now. It's not really made for kids, though. Definitely not. Okay, now let's get this purple. Hopefully this pen, oh, there we go. See, this one's working great. That other one was just dark but dry. Make sure you share your art. I know I talk about that a lot. Sometimes I forget to say it though, but I like seeing what you create. So definitely load your artwork in. I do like seeing, people, because I haven't been drawing as much. The one good thing I'll say is for those that, weren't drawing every single day, you're able to go back and kind of catch up or do some of the ones that maybe you missed. So I like when I just randomly see someone, load something into an album from a while ago because they just got around to doing it. But if you, are used to coming on every day, and now I'm only here 2 to 3 days a week, I know you are looking for more drawings. Now, once I color the rest of this in black, it's going to kind of mute this purple. You won't, like right now, it really stands out. But I think once the black is in there, then it'll just end up more of like an accent. It'll allow you to still see that pattern by having the purple or the gray. If you don't like the way it looks in the purple, You can definitely use other colors. I have actually seen a lot of drawings with Black Panther where purple is used in the outfit. Let me color my little dots in the purple too. Oh, you know what I realized? I didn't turn my light on, really. There. I don't know if that's any better. Nobody said anything, so I'm going to guess it wasn't too bad. Okay, now for the black. Which that first gray was so dark, you don't notice it all that much, but in fact, you don't see it at all. You do see the purple though. So yeah, I've kind of lost. You'll see it a bit better in the body since I switched to the pen there, or the pencil there, in that lighter gray. I'm glad I did that because otherwise all of these lines would just be lost. Like they are in this face. See, I did all of those lines, and now, because that one color was too dark, I'm losing them. You win some, you lose some. Oh yes, the claws. I didn't draw the claws yet. Let me finish this one little smidge. Okay. So for the claws, and I will zoom in on this a little bit, but I'm just going to come on the end of this. Oh, that pen is all frayed. Okay. And just do little sharp V's. So curve and back, curve and back. And then same over here, curve back. So there, just like that. However, on this hand, we're going to lose some of them because it's going to all get colored in black, so we won't see all of those claws on that side. But you will see them on the other hand. When I drew the first one, you know, of course I didn't color it in, and I thought, oh, I thought I would use the watercolor because I thought it would go fast. I thought, oh, well, it'll go a lot faster. It is not at all. And I thought that black would like look different from the gray, but the gray would still kind of blend nicely in. And now it's like, it's just covering it up. But I don't think with all of these little lines that anything's going to go really fast because you're coloring, you know, trying not to cover them up, trying to stay in the lines. You've created so many different shapes that you're staying in the lines on. Still does look cool though. I do like that. Purple in there. I'm going to try to hit this with a little bit more water. Kind of make those lines show up again, but I don't know if they're going to. See, that is how I anticipated it looking. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the claws white, and then you will actually see them in that other hand because you'll color around them. So let's do this hand first, and then I'll go do the other one. But you're definitely not going to see, like I said, if you were really fretting over the shapes of the fingers. You're not going to even see the lines breaking up the fingers. If you're working in pencil, you might, because it, it's lighter than a pen. So I'm going to leave just these little claws, coloring around them. They're just almost going to look like white spots on the page. But you can see them. So yeah, I would say color those in white. Otherwise, if you color them in black, you're just going to lose them. It's the hard part, really, about the superhero suits. You see the same thing with Batman. We drew an old version of Batman, so we didn't do the just black suit. But, I know I get a lot of requests for like Iron Man and all of that. And once you start coloring in, you spend all of this time on all of this detail, and then you color and it like covers it up. So that's the one area where kind of that superhero drawing is a little bit difficult. Most of the ones you see online now, they're done digitally. They're being done on an iPad and or some other kind of digital pad device. And so you can, take a black on there and have like different shades of black. So things still show up more, but you're a little bit more restrained or more, I don't know if restrained is the right word. I feel like I'm saying the wrong word. Constricted. And I know I, as an artist, get frustrated, like even with this drawing, the fact that, I did all this line work in the face, it took time, and then with the way it got colored, I completely lost that detail. So now it just looks like this. Just doesn't show as much detail. I actually found some art classes that are being taught online by the Art Academy in New York, and I think I'm going to sign up and take a couple classes myself. And maybe I'll be able to teach you guys some things. Oh, it's getting closer. Well, today's drawing has gone really long, but we're just coloring now, so if you have to go back to school or anything, you can always finish it up later. Coming together. I'll be excited to see yours, see what you guys did, see how you changed it or what method you used to color it. Definitely not loving the watercolor on this. I wish I had stuck to my pencils. But hey, you know what? I can always go and color in my original with pencils if I really wanted to. And I will do my best to remember to get that drawing loaded so you guys can color it. I know I'm not always great at that. I kind of have to do it right away or I get busy with work and I forget. So last little toe. And there we go. There is our Black Panther. Wakanda forever. Not too shabby, just wish I could see those face lines a little bit. Alrighty, there we have it. So look forward to seeing yours. Make sure you post them up in the group. You can add them into an album or you can just post them directly on the group page. You can also share them with me on Instagram if you follow me there. We will be back on Friday at 11:30 for a doodle page. I will announce tomorrow what that's going to be. And then on Saturday, we will return for a sip and draw on Saturday. And I'm pretty sure we are going to do Miss Piggy. The sip and draw that follows that is the one with the coffee company where we're going to draw a luchador. So I think those are the only announcements I have. Stay tuned to the group. Like I said, There is going to be a scavenger hunt event, and I will be posting information about that soon. And then after the holiday weekend, I will have another announcement post about the schedule and some additional classes that you could do and how that is going to work. So lots of announcements coming your way. Stay tuned and happy drawing. I'll see you guys soon.